Hello?
And testing.
3, 2, 1. Period. It's your girl Twizzle.
And imagine.
Cuzzo-centric. Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, A2.
Bien. You want to know why?
Why?
Because this is the first official episode of
Cuzzo-centric. We still gotta work on that, yo.
It's gonna get better over time.
Yeah, you right. We'll just edit something in, you know what I mean?
But yeah, y'all, this is the first official episode of our podcast, Cuzzo-centric.
Episode 1, The New Beginnings.
So lit.
Ooh.
We're so excited. We are your hosts. My name is Imagine.
And I am Tiffany. My friends, they call me Twizzle. You can call me what you will, depending on how you feel. Ooh.
Hey.
It's been a minute since I said that, y'all. Like, I don't know the last time I said that, but it was a long time ago, and I miss saying that. I'm gonna be saying it some more.
It's been a while. It's been some time.
It's been a while since it has.
Yeah.
But as Imagine just said, this is the first episode, so we gonna talk to y'all. We gonna get real with y'all. We gonna tell you what this whole thing will be about and different things and what maybe our plans are for the future with this and like who we are.
Yeah.
So, cousin, why don't you tell them who we are?
Okay. So, if you have never seen our beautiful faces before or have never heard our amazing voices, like we just said and introduced ourselves, we are Tiffany and Imagine. We co-run the brand. I guess we'll call it the brand.
Ooh, the brand.
Cuzzo-centric. Cuzzo-centric.
Which you can follow on all platforms at Cuzzo-centric. I mean, not all, but like YouTube and Instagram at Cuzzo-centric.
Cuzzo-centric. That's CUZZO centric. One more time. That's CUZZO centric. Yeah. Basically, me and Tiff, we run Cuzzo-centric together, and Cuzzo-centric is basically our joint platform. We do different things. This cast is one of them. We also host our own open mic that we're hoping to get back up and running after quarantine called Grab a Bite.
Grab a Bite, open mic, ooh.
And we're gonna be planning on doing a bunch of other stuff, but one of the main things we wanted to do, and the main reason why we started Cuzzo-centric was for the Cuzzo-centric podcast.
Ooh, the podcast. Everybody loves a good podcast.
Everybody loves a good podcast. Yeah, so Cuzzo, since we've already established some of the things we do as a unit, why don't we tell the people what we got going on, what we got planned for the podcast?
Well, as Imagine just said, why am I talking like that? Y'all, I'm gonna let y'all know the real me. All right, let me stop fronting. I'm gonna just talk. So this podcast is, like Imagine said, our conjoint platform, and with this podcast, we want to serve y'all all the realness, our opinions, ideas, and different things like other podcasts. But most importantly, we want to share the empowerment we have and motivation we have to do stuff like this podcast with our audience, I feel like. So we going to get into some topics. Y'all can give us topics to talk about, DM us, comment, we reply, repost, we do all of that. And then on top of that, we want to get into doing interviews and like deep dive into other people's thoughts and ideas and see how we're all different, but we all can relate at the same time. You feel?
Yeah.
You feel?
Cool.
I'm
gonna be real. My headphones just fell out for a second, so I have no idea what you just said.
I was waiting for the second and it never came. I was like, for real? And you was like, yeah. And then you never said it again. I felt lost. So that's pretty much what this podcast is. And y'all probably wondering, like, why start this podcast now in the middle of quarantine? Actually, quarantine right now is starting to, like, unravel a little bit slowly. You know what I mean? We starting to get back on our feet a little bit. Memorial Day weekend and everything happening, going on. And yeah, so why right now? I feel like why not? Like this is like our moment. Like the reason that we started this platform was for this podcast, and we never made it happen. Like I don't know why. How we started an open mic before we started the podcast. That was kind of like out of nowhere, like out of the blue. we want to pick that back up and stuff, but quarantine held everything back. So soon we'll start getting into more open mic stuff. But for now, I feel like we should immerse ourselves and keep ourselves in that creativity, which is a podcast right now.
Factoids.
That's a little bit like what to expect from this podcast, what you're going to get from it. Soon we'll be doing little segments and different stuff and answering the audience's question. We want y'all to come talk to us. We want to know what you got to say too.
It's got to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm
saying? A give and take, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we going to learn, y'all going to learn. The realness is getting served. That's what is to be expected from this podcast. I'm fumbling over my words a bit. But yeah, Cuzzo, I think we should tell them how we met.
So, Cuzzo origin story. So originally, we met in the 7th grade in middle school.
Middle school. I was young back then. Middle school. I feel old now.
So, a little bit of background. Originally, I went to Lafayette in the 6th grade.
Ooh.
But then that school got shut down and was remodeled to become Lakewood.
Tough.
So I had to go to another school, so I ended up getting transferred to Blair.
Wow.
Shout out Clippers. Shout out the Clippers, you know what I'm saying?
That sounds like my school.
Because it is. And that's where we met in the 7th grade. Yeah, and I think we met in English. That's where we met, right?
Miss
We both
Mitchell.
had the same English class. Miss Mitchell. I miss Miss Mitchell. But yeah, and in 7th grade, like we were cool, and like we were friends, and like we knew each other.
Indeed.
It was kind of like an acquaintance type deal. Well, it was like we weren't just acquaintances, but at the same time, we weren't at like that friend.
Yeah, like
level.
We were nowhere like where we are now.
Facts. And then the organization that we're both currently a part of, called Teens with a Purpose. Shout out TWP. They came to Blair with their Hear This program, and that's where they come to middle schools and high schools, and they do poetry curriculums. And we really bonded over that because we both signed up for the club. And yeah, and then Tiffany, you can explain the rest.
Yeah, so like we both joined poetry club, but it only lasted for that year. So after that, they offered a summer camp, which I ain't go to, but Imagine went to. So after like 7th grade, 8th grade, we didn't really have no classes together. We kind of fell off the grid. But then I went to a summer camp, like I think it might have been my first year in high school at T-Dub, where I wanted to start doing poetry and spoken word and all this artistic stuff that I never really expressed that side of me before, but they really brought that out of me, which is what I love doing now. So thank y'all. But Imagine was one of the counselors there, so we kind of hit it off again, and we was just, everybody would always walk up to us and be like, "Are you guys related?" And then more people kept asking, like, "Y'all, I guess we really do look this much alike. Y'all tell us down in the comments under this post where you gonna hear this from at Cuzzocentric. CUZZOCENTRIC on Instagram or YouTube. Do we really look alike? But more people kept asking, and it got to a point where we were just like, yeah, we're related. We're cousins at this point. Like, we are Cuzzos. Like, this bondage grew stronger, which is why I feel like is another reason why we have this platform, is because not everybody in this world has this bond like we do. I don't want to say don't nobody have it, but like, bonds like this are rare, so I'm very grateful for it. And like we're both dope individuals on our own, but when you put us into the same space, it's like glowing ball of sunlight. Like we're just coming there to bless you. Like
it's sunshine.
Sunshine. Hey, shout out Vision. Ooh. I just feel like we have that bond and that connection that just draws people to us.
That's a mood.
Cause you ever just feel like the sun?
You know, sometimes you just wake up and you feel good. You just wake up, you get out of bed, you get dressed, you get that fit. Know you're clean. You just like, I look good today.
You know you clean when you so fresh and you look so good that the Snapchat filters make you look off. Like, you know you a little dingy when you sit there and you have it on the regular camera and you swipe your filters and then you start feeling good about yourself. But when you on that regular camera and you feel good about yourself and then you start swiping and you start getting iffy, that's how you know you got the right fit, the right everything. Your hair just lays the right way that day. Like, I believe that's how we met.
Yeah. I mean, like Tiff said, it's been a constant process of us building a bond, getting closer. We've done a lot of stuff with T-Dub. We're both members of HRYP. We've done some traveling together. Yeah, and it was just like we took that original bond that we originally built in middle school and we just like took that as foundation
and expanded.
Now we have something like super dope and super genuine, and I love her.
Hold on, I won't really. I love you too, Cuzzo.
Yeah. But that's how we met. That's our origin story. And then we went on to go build Cuzzo-centric. We wanted to do a podcast. So we built Cuzzo-centric, and then we didn't do a podcast, but we did an open mic.
And then now, here's the podcast.
But now we're doing a podcast.
Welcome to
it's full circle.
Cuzzo-centric. That was a little better. That was a little better than the first one.
We're learning.
Learning
how to love on a different level.
Oh, that's my song.
Trying to be helpful.
I was really like, what's that, Bob? That's my own joint.
Hey, that joint's on fire. What is that?
That's Learning by Miss Tiffy T, which you can stream on YouTube and SoundCloud at Miss Tiffy T.
You better plug yourself.
I did. You ain't a manager, like, hey. No cap. This is time to go off, yo. Like,
no cap.
Especially us, being like seniors, and like this is like the time like quarantine came and swept over everything. And like being seniors, and this is also our graduating year. I feel like this is the time we have to go off. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing else to do.
Right. Like I can't. Like I've literally tried to be what's the word? Unresourceful. Like just trying to like be lazy and like slack off and do nothing, and I can't. Like I can't. Like I've gotten to the point where I'm so bored. Like I have to do something important.
Yeah, it's like you're bored.
Yeah, like I can't. Like I'm so bored. Like I have to. Like
how you
I have
know
to.
It's deep when you're so bored that you're bored.
Like I have to like write a song, or I have to write a poem, or I have to record a podcast. Like I have to do something.
Like you just wake up, ain't got nothing to do, ain't got nowhere to go. You sit there for like 2 hours in your bed, and then you're just like, you know what? Let me do something. Even when it's a rainy day. And y'all know them rainy days, you just want to lay in your bed all day sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. The grind don't stop. Height don't stop. Education don't stop. Learning don't stop. Subconscious don't stop. But you got to get your sleep. Don't rush. Sleep is a part of the grind. But everything else, it don't stop. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep going. Keep doing you. Keep growing on your craft. Keep owning your craft. Honing in on your craft. And everything that you do. Whether that's dance, photography, art, poetry, writing, songwriting, music making, like all of that. You got to keep practicing to get better at it, or you're just going to stay in the same place forever.
No one likes to be stagnant.
Stagnant. Words I don't know, but it's cool.
Stagnant.
Definition, please.
Stagnant, meaning...
I'm dead.
To be still. I don't know officially what it means. But basically, like, being stagnant is like staying in the same place.
Y'all do that too when y'all use words you don't really know. You just heard somebody else say it in that context, and you just like that.
Like you know what it means, but you don't know what it means.
Yeah.
You just like that all the time. Be like, oh, I heard someone use it in this context. So using context clues, I think this is what this means.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes people be like, that's not what that.
Vocabulary. But yeah, that should be a segment, y'all. Y'all, should we do like a segment where like we quiz each other, or like on different things and different words or phrases that we might have said in like past episodes when we get to a point? Ooh, that might be tough. If y'all know any segment ideas or got any ideas y'all want us to own in on, or like different things, you can comment that down below.
Or go to our social medias at Cuzzocentric. That's CUZZO centric. Once again, CUZZO centric. Or if you want to go to our personal Instagrams, you can follow us at Imagine That. That's the word Imagine, DATTT, or Ms.Tiffy. That's MZ.TIFFYT.
I was sitting there, I was like, let me not say something. I want to test Cuzzo and see if Cuzzo knows my ad. Cuzzo knows my ad. I also just said it like 5 minutes ago, but it's good. It's good. Y'all, I ain't even gonna lie to you. This is take 3 of recording this first episode.
This is like the 3rd or 4th attempt to record this.
It's an attempt. It ain't number 1.
It's an attempt.
It ain't the first one.
It's an attempt. Girl, the shade of it all.
You know, the first one, there was technical difficulties where my voice wasn't recording, and then another one, my voice was like sounding weird. And you know, I feel like with a podcast with somebody's voice who's not at like an okay quality or a good quality, ain't nobody gonna want to listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine sitting there sounding great, like, yay, Cuzzocentric, and I'm over there sounding like centric. Like, I was over there like, I can't. But I feel like with quarantine it's still in effect, because like everything isn't open yet.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to be planning a future for ourselves and owning everything that we do at this point in time, because this was like our time to like sit there, soak up everything, and just use that for motivation or for crafts or like different things that you do. So like, I want to touch back on like what I was talking about earlier. Like, we're a part of the class 2020, so I want to take a moment and like legit shout out the class of 2020 for not getting a graduation. We don't get a graduation or a prom or like any of this stuff, which I feel like is a milestone in like everybody's life, and everybody takes it as a joke or like different things when it's not. I mean, it's not a joke, but we all laugh at it. As a sense of it is one, but I feel like that kind of, you know, laughing at it makes it feel better for that moment, or like whatever it is. Because I don't know, I feel like other people, if you're not in the class of 2020, you're not going to connect to it or relate to it as much. Like, I know some people who've just told me, oh, it's just like a graduation, it's not that big of a deal, or this or that. In my opinion, like, to me, it's more than just that. You know what I mean? Like, that was like the day of like walking across that stage and making it through it with all of like your friends and your family and like everybody there with you. You know what I mean? And we didn't get that.
For people to sit there and just be like, oh, it's just a graduation, I don't understand like why people are so upset. Like, I'm assuming like it's coming from people who either haven't had the chance to have their graduation yet, or people who
just don't
have had their graduation and just don't remember what that's like. Or maybe it is coming from people, I don't know. But the point is, it's just like you said, a graduation is a lot more than just like a random ceremony that you sit at.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean? Like, a graduation is like one. It's like, yeah, it's like a metaphorical. It's literally you crossing the bridge from you being like a young adult into like actual adulthood. Like, it's literally symbolic of you crossing.
I would say more like a teen into your adulthood, because I ain't no young adult. I mean, wait, am I? Wait, I'm graduating. I think I'm a young adult now.
People equate young adults and teens as the same thing. I mean,
kind of.
Yeah, because a young adult, like, that's a young man, that's a young woman. Like, a young adult
But like, is that how it works? Like, I would say like
think so.
my older sister, she's 3 years older than me. She's 21 right now.
So she's an adult.
Nah, I would call her a young adult. I don't know. What do y'all call your ages?
Comment below.
Comment below. What do y'all call your ages? So like, I would call like, if you got a teen and you still a teenager, like even if you're 18, 19, you're like on the older part of that. So I would call it like 18 through like 22, like young adult. Is that weird? Am I the only person who thinks that? What do y'all call your adults?
What do y'all call your adults?
What age level? Like, have I been calling like? Now I'm confused. And continue, Cuzzo. Continue.
Anyway, after that extremely random sidebar, yeah, it's the graduation ceremony is a lot more, and it's important to people, and like I think it's funny because going up to the ceremony, like often seniors will have like conversations about how like annoying the ceremony is about to be, like the fact that you have to like sit and like wait for everyone to get called, and like you have to sit through the speakers, and it's sometimes like a long and boring process. But like at the same time, now that we don't get to have that ceremony anymore, we're like we're hurt, and it's like it's important because it's like it's you like celebrating, not only you celebrating, but being able to be celebrated for the work that you've done to get to this point over the past 4 years.
Which is another
high school
reason.
Is hard, yo.
It really is. But touching on like what you just said, the crazy part is we're still getting celebrated. Like LeBron James and like that whole thing that he did, like congratulating the class of 2020 and like these people making these posts and like different things for the class of 2020 and different things. We're still getting celebrated. It's just not in the same manner.
Right.
Like in a social way.
Like we're still, and I'm like thankful for the fact that like people are like thinking about the class of 2020.
Yeah, like we got a whole
and like people are making these messages, recording these videos, or like hosting these events, which I think is dope. And it's important, and it's like super kind and everything, but at the same time,
it's not the same.
Like you said, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I feel that, but I feel like this is still our chance to like plan out our future and get to that point where we want to be at. So like, I feel like we should be talking about too, like we talked about like kind of like the past, like the coronavirus taking away the graduation, things we knew for weeks and months for now. But what do we plan to do after like everything's all the way open again and like ready to go again? So I mean, I'll start on that. So I'm still planning to like live out like my future education at college and different stuff, and get into my dream college, and like live like I guess the lifestyle. I don't want to say the lifestyle, but like I guess that's what it is, the lifestyle. Like have a different aspect of my life than the one that I've been living for so long, which is just going to school and like coming home, going out. Like I hang out with like friends and stuff, but not like, you know, like I'm not an adult yet, or I wasn't yet, but I want to start transitioning into that period. I don't want to grow up, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying I want to grow up, but I'm saying I want to have that transitional period, like that other path to walk on to have that life experience. And then I'm still working on like all my arts, my poetry, my spoken word, my everything. I don't want to say the list, that's too long, but yeah, I feel like that.
Hashtag humble brag. She really said, I don't want to say the list, it's too long, I do everything.
Period. Like 3, 2, 1. Period. Y'all, that intro, I'm sorry, I'm still hooked on it.
It's so good.
Hello, testing. 3, 2, 1. Bananas are good. Period. You know that's bad when we memorize.
You listen to it so many times.
For real. Cause what you got planned for?
But yeah, after? I think, God willing, if after everything opens back up and just stuff, just goes back to how it was before the virus. Like if the thing is not reoccurring, or if we don't have to adjust society, and it's just like, oh, this thing happened, but now it's back. And I definitely think I want to go to TCC.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
education
get
pull through.
education period. I'm gonna get
Period.
my associate.
Who
And
degree
then
pull
I want
through?
to go to Richmond and possibly,
Richmond pull through.
yeah, shout out Richmond.
Ooh.
May or may not go to college there. Um, not decided yet, but I definitely want to go up to Richmond, explore their art scene.
It's amazing.
Um, I've heard, I've seen the murals and stuff, and I know people from Richmond, and
Yeah.
I think it's just like a really dope place, and like a lot of my friends are going there,
Keep the
and
connections.
yeah, I just think it'll be a dope scene to explore.
Going down to Richmond is still on my bucket list. Trying to get to a college down there and different stuff because I feel like the art scene is really dope and art is kind of like for me that's expression like how I feel, which is why I just like art because like everybody has different emotions connected to the same piece of art, which I always thought is crazy.
And I think art too. Yeah, art's super dope. It's like you said, like it's self expression, and I think it's like a really powerful tool too, because like a lot of people, at least for me, I know like it was hard. I didn't really have the confidence to like express myself or to say things that I had on my mind, and like poetry and music and art in general just gave me like a way to like say all those things
Mm,
without saying them, if that makes sense. Like they still like got the message across, and they still said my art said what I couldn't say by myself,
mm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel that. But quarantine is going to be over, and I say that because it's going to happen. Um, but don't lose motivation or hope on the things that y'all was seeking out before it happened. Like, don't let this break tear you away from that and like have you settle in as it being a break. You can still be pushing towards those goals even while you're inside, even while you're at home, by just practicing what you do. Learning something new every day is still something I feel like should be done. Know what you want your future to be and how you're seeking it out even in like this kind of time period. Just for the time period in general when it started, like the whole coronavirus thing, like it started like what 3 months ago now, just about,
Something like that.
maybe. But I feel like the way it started was so crazy. Like I didn't think it was real. I had like a whole, not a panic attack, just like overthinking, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when it first started, because like I was in school and we just get this message across like the school system. I was after school that says everybody needs to go home and stay out of the building. I just started thinking like, oh my God, what about this and what about this and what about that? Like all the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. But I wish that in that moment I was thinking about like ways that I could still live out those moments just at home, which is kind of weird because like I was supposed to be in like this play or like something in the water was happening and like all these different things that were getting canceled, and I was like freaking out about it. And then I feel like it didn't really hit me like this stuff was happening until a couple weeks into it,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like a lot of people is like that too because this is like the
Yeah.
first like epidemic thing that like
Facts.
happened to most of us.
Yeah. I'll say like you said, like it's the first time like our generation has like not only been alive to like experience something on this large of a scale that's like this traumatic, but also like being able to have the memory to retain it. And like this is gonna like I think this is just like gonna be one of those things that's gonna like have people like looking at life different. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how like some people after the Great Depression like didn't trust banks, and like I feel like it's really gonna be like one of those things where like people might just be like I feel like there's gonna be like hand sanitizer cartridges like everywhere now. I feel like people are gonna start carrying like Clorox wipes like in their purses or
Mm,
something. You know what I mean? I feel like people are gonna start moving different.
moving different, talking different, speaking up. Just all things that we should have been doing, but we won't. But you know what? We gonna speak up. Wear your mask, have your gloves, have your little hand soaps, all of that.
Please wash your hands.
Please. We don't want no unclean hands. I was saying that before the virus, so
please wash your hands.
Deodorant and wash your hands.
Me and Cousin about to make a song called "Wash Your Hands."
Ooh, wash your hands. What? Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Hey.
What?
Wash your hands. Hey.
Skirt.
Wash your hands. What? Wash your hands. Hey. Wash your hands. Get the soap, put it in the water. I said, get the soap, put it in the water. I said, get the soap, put it in the water. Scrub dubbity dub. Get the soap, put it in the water. I said, get the soap, put it in the water.
In the water.
New single by Cuzzo
Scrub
Centric.
dubbity dub.
Coming in 1 week from now. Coming with the release of episode 2.
Release date.
That's about to be our new intro. We gotta come up with a new intro
water.
for everything.
Soap in the water.
Soap in the water, scrub with dub. Hey.
Dubbity dub. Scrub.
We don't want no scrubs though. We don't. But
No.
ooh.
No.
Hey.
Scrubs.
What?
Scrubs.
Y'all, we
Yeah.
goofy because of it's that time.
It is.
You know what time it is, right?
Time for lunch. Just kidding.
I wish.
It is time to sign off
But
of our first official episode of
Cuzzo
Centric.
Oh, we were adding the slowdown. Hold on. Ooh, let's run
I
that back.
thought you always do the slowdown. I anticipated it this time.
I just hold on. Okay, I mean I got it now. I won't ready.
Okay, you ready?
3, 2, 1.
Cuzzo
Centric. Period.
That was pretty good.
We hope to see y'all on the next episode. This is the new beginnings. Something new for y'all, something new for us, something we gonna do. Keep grinding.
Right.
Comment people and segments and different ideas you want us to do and different topics you want us to talk about on our YouTube channel, Cuzzo Centric, and Instagram, Cuzzo Centric. Follow us on our personals at Imagine That and at Ms. Tiffy T. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Peace.
Cuzzo Centric. Cuzzo Centric.